sports fan, Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and Overwatch, StarCraft 2, the choice is yours. Express bets for multiple matches or live bets on the game you are watching right now. Know your way around Dota 2? Make a prediction for picks and bans. Playing CSGO? Guess the number of rounds in a certain match. Daily quest for all participants and all the best choice of payment systems. More than 600,000 users have already made their bets on the spectacular matches since 2011. EGB.com. You know for sure who's gonna win.
Yo, what's good in the hood, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. We're gonna go live here any second with StarSeries, obviously. And if I'm not wrong, I'm gonna go live here any second. I hope the stream looks good for everybody. I'm not very sure on that. Obviously, now just set this up, standing in for, I don't know who actually, if I'm standing in for anyone at all. But obviously, second stream, second caster, doing what I can to make everything fit on time and stuff like that. So if there's anything wrong in the overlays or anything, you hit me up, you tell me about that, and I'm gonna fix it any second. My name's Vaulty, Vaulty the King, on Twitter. If you want to follow me, hit me up, send me some DMs, stuff like that. Do that. Always open to talk to people. And there's not much more to say really then. Hope you guys will be enjoying this game, my cast of it as well, and that the team that you hope wins. Which is kind of hard for me to say because obviously there's a chance both of them win. And we can go in obviously and talk about the maps here any second as well. We're just waiting for the teams to get ready for the knife round, and I was expecting it to become to start here any second. And you can obviously hear them in the background shooting like crazy. Sakron is ready here, so should be ready any second for iGame as well. I'm not sure. But that's Sagerton SGT probably, yeah, it should be. So one's at the toilet right now. We're just awaiting the start of this game. Mertz, incredible player. I met him at, by the way, if we're going to be talking about anything, it's about the players in this game, right? So, going into it, Mertz, obviously, very skilled player in terms of individual performances. Not only that, but going all the way back to even Nordic Masters, you had plenty of opportunity, or he had plenty of opportunity to become something already there. So, I mean, not shocked to see him in this league at all. I'm not shocked to even see him climb if he'd be in like a top team at this stage. But he's gonna be there any second, I'm pretty sure. He has a lot of mates as well. Sandon, for example, a really good player individually that I'm sure brings a lot to the team, a lot of the table, pretty much. You go into iGame and you look at Sori, all of these old gangsters from Finland, still down there. To be honest, I feel like they played for us for such a long time. They should be up there, but. Very patient team, all in all, and you know, judging their playstyle, it's really like a tier 2 about to become tier 1. I feel like people say they're tier 3 and stuff like that, but nah, going back to it, they're definitely getting up to tier 2 to tier 1. Like they could face those teams and at least win 1 to 2 games in 10 matches or 5 matches even. So I don't wanna take anything away from this team, and you know, judging by just that very fact. Sure, Team123 is going to be up for a hell of a challenge here, but at the same time, iGame has been lacking sometimes, and I think that's like the issue of this team, all in all, is that you have the consistency that lacks a bit on the Finnish side, whereas at the Danish side, you still have that consistency, but you're not as good when they're, you know, in comparison to iGame when they're playing at their peak. So that's really my analysis coming into this one, and we'll see how the game goes. Obviously, best of 3 series, so anything can happen. I feel like best of 1 is even worse, but best of 3, yeah. Not really sure. Both of these teams are kind of unpredictable, and what I think has been like a main for this game, or what should have been a main at least for this game, is obviously. Specking over demos and stuff like that from the Danish side, I feel like. And they want to see what iGame can do and what's so not. It's going to be the knife round. We're obviously talking about train now, so CT side should be a preferable alternative. But then at the same time, you have so many good. Like obviously, you want to prefer a CT side on this map. That's all in all what you would expect from anyone winning an knife round on this map. So we'll see how it goes and what team chooses what. And I highly doubt you'll like to be T on this map. So it's got to be the knife round win from the T side or any second. I'm pretty sure X7. Those are some really mexy gloves, to be fair. I'd love to have those. Alright, so. It'd be good with some water. Yeah, like a water bottle here, yeah, I do. M-Stall, Norwegian water. Talking about Norway, they're not in this, are they? They're gonna get a really good team soon, I heard. So, if we have any Norwegians in the stream, in the chat, you've got something that awaits in Norwegian CS history coming back in Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Finally, a full Norwegian team. You already have like a bunch, but like not top level. I think this could be top level though. The one that I've heard is coming. Not gonna say too much though. Let's see here, iGame lining up for a few smokes over towards A, but then again, that's only one of the players backed off over towards T spawn. Rest of the gang coming up towards B, and that looks like it's gonna be the fake or even a smoke that lands perfectly for them not to come through connector and block these pushes off. Resex is gonna be going in for the first frag. Decides to back off with the USPS in his hand, waiting for the player that he earlier spotted to go down or peek. Sandon gets that information. Acer does trade that off as well. Sandon, perfect frag coming in on Juhub right there, and then instantly falls into the defuse. Sandon with it coming down, and that's going to be 4 players remaining for Team123 in this scenario. A very important one, so definitely, because at the you want to, obviously winning is winning, right, anyways, but when you're on the CT side, obviously it costs a lot more, and you want to make sure you have a lot of players remaining as you win rounds to save up as much money as possible, or allow yourselves to get these nades once or not, which they do in this particular round with 3 M4s, and they also go with 1 UMP and 1 scout. So might be that scout curse we're going to be seeing now. Let's not hope so for their side. Cyclone has a UMP. Isn't going to go too offensive. Decides to back off all the way over towards A or B. Impatiently waits. I feel like he's on a very long distance though with that UMP, and it could really hurt him if they decide to rush him. They're lining up towards A with 3 people. They've got 2 more people towards B to find information, seeing if there's any pushes or anything like that with the SMG. So, I mean, Team123 is that they're reading this in the best possible way by not pushing. Obviously, now iGame are trying to abuse this, the fact that you might push. They're not really falling into the trap, which is coming better and better for them as time passes by. Obviously, iGame now looking more and more like an old Navi, waiting for the time to tick out until you push yourself in there by stress. Flashbangs are coming out as well, and a lot of them are being widened out. 7 coming in with a Tech 9, gets that first frag. Acer goes down. That bomb's gonna get planted behind the smoke as well. Santa doesn't really know where that plan is coming on though. Ayrton's going down early here. Decides to back off behind the window. Juhub with a nice frag on a Mertz headshot. Decides to hide. Important one because now they can't come from CT as well. Cyclone obviously could take that, control the area though. Goes in for the first frag. X7 goes down, pushes over. So Reach with the Tech 9 gets a frag on a Rezex. 3 people remaining. He knows that he's there, but Sori's allowed to get that frag as well. Sandon goes down. Cyclone will be going down as well. Juhub with the frag, 1-to-1. Back and forth frags at the early stage of that round as soon as they started pushing, but then at the end of the day, iGame took that home just by easy communication pretty much. And I feel like Sori played that really well by just flicking back and forth on the corner to make sure not only that he got information, but called that to his mate who was already standing inside of Popper, right? So Pop. And they baited each other out for a very long time, bought a lot of time for themselves to stress out the CTs and put even more pressure on their shoulders, but yeah, very smart play of the 2 players remaining there. And they had even a third over towards Ali if they needed him. So, V6 looks like he might be able to survive this. 20 HP remaining. Maybe that scout going in for a frag here and there. Sagerton, however, will be denying that to happen with 2 frags. Mertz and Cyclone will be going down. Juhab on a re6 as well. So, 2-on-4. Saturn and Acer remaining. Acer in the back. Could stab him here. Pretty harshly, to be honest. Could get that frag. Open up and doesn't really give him a lot of opportunity anyways, because Sagerton is still here, very close range. Could take him out as soon as he goes out, so you don't really want to commit to that kind of mistake. Acer just has to back off. Sanon is right next to him as well if there's any need. And that's good again. You can see Team123 trying to adapt to the same kind of play that iGame used earlier, is that you have that one player close to the corner of wherever a person is going to be coming from, and then you have that long range player playing from a distance to spot the player out pretty much, and you duo that one out. Always gives you a frag, whether or not one dies or not. So now iGame is in the lead, obviously on the T side, and not too sure if Saw is did he? Okay, so they went with that even though they didn't need to, which is interesting. Obviously now very good hold of the enemy's economical situation, which is shown by this very purchase. And iGame patiently waiting for the people to come up from ladder room. We'll pop. Not much happening. And at this stage, I feel like iGame, they're waiting for that information to be given away by Team123, or they're at least trying to get information slowly to make sure they know where the players are going to be as soon as they push out, and utilize those nades to flash them out or smoke them off, utilizing any sort of vision blocker, even an AG, to make sure you can get out there and then just fire up the entire site. Which again, even taking your time here is going to be key. Then again, Resix, if you have players like that eventually, I feel triggered to go out here. It's obviously a plus for you on the CT side. Now, let's see if that's going to be the mistake done by iGame by taking their longest time. I don't think so. They're going to go in for the first 2 frags. B side's pretty crowded by CTs right now, but the bomb is yet not really planted. And the pressure hasn't even been put on the shoulders of the CTs yet. As soon as it is, though, Acer delivers her first good frag on his Sagerton, leaves Saw and Juhab left alone. Decides to push here, Rezix with a P250. And Acer again just plays this out perfectly, the CT side here. To make sure they can get this frag. Acer on a longer distance. It feels like Juhab spotted him out for the longest time there, actually. He instantly goes for that save as well. And Juhab wins the round just by himself. Not only utilizing that Molotov, but the fact... I think Acer was kind of into that as well. Like, okay, we're going to lose this round. Let's just back off. If he dies here, I'm going to back off. And he had, like, the very perfect push, or, like, very perfect position to push with his mate as well. But he decided to stay, I think. That was because of the fact that if he gets this frag now, I need to be quick on defusing. Because we don't have all time in the world. So, let's try to. And that was a low-budget round as well. So, I'm not really sure if they had that def kit. But definitely a reasonable decision to go with a save there. To make sure you have enough for the next upcoming round. And they're on the CT side anyway, so they'll get the extra money. Sagerton with a perfect Molotov to land right there. Not allowing himself to go down, nor letting Mertz go down anyways because of the fact that he backs off, obviously. But then again, gives away a lot of information, and that's really the danger of this. If you can't get the reply there, stuff's gonna get heavy for you. However, Sagerton is there, goes in for the reply, makes it a 4-on-4 situation. Good equalizers to work with, and going back towards T-spawn is probably what you want to do here. Make sure you regroup, rearm. Try and push with full power into any side you want. 4-on-4 situation should be yours any day of the week, but it's all about lining that one up. And I like how iGame, you usually see a lot of utilities being used at the early stages of rounds by a lot of lower tier teams, and I feel like Team123 is falling into that category a lot. But then again, going over to iGame, and I said that earlier as well, they're fading into becoming this quite tier top team, not tier 1, but not tier 2 either, like somewhere in between there. And they're winning a lot of tournaments. They've got these old players that play, for example, Nordic Masters back in the days, won all of those tournaments, so I'm not doubting them at all. Sandin, however, just gonna go in for the first reply there. Very good one to hide for, like, just for the fact that you're so patient that you can hide there for such a long time is so key to winning this round. Sandin allowed to go for a second one in this round. However, Story breaks him down with the op. 7 seconds remaining, has to go for a plant if anything goes down, and luckily does that, I want to say, because of the fact that, you know, wouldn't you die there, well, you wouldn't have any money at all. Let me just see if right. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not really sure if there's anything wrong with the overlay or anything. You guys tell me, or like if there's, I'm not sure. Lay like logos or stuff like that. You hit me up and you tell me about it, because I'm not very sure if everything's correct. So you guys know better than me. You watch StarSeries much more than I do, right? So just tweet me and I'll fix it by the end of this game. That's gonna be iGame again with quite heavy round for their economical situation, trying to invest every single penny they can. Mertz with that op. Ooh, he's hurt. That could have been so key for Juhob. However, he goes down. Mertz gonna be opening up that one with the op, and I think he was hurt just by the fact that he stepped into that Molotov. Rizik's gonna go in for the frag on E as well. We're at Sagerton. 7. Good reply coming into side cross. Still a very low possibility here for them to even surprise Rizik. He knows for such a long time. Santa comes in as well and surprises them from another angle. That's gonna be the entirety of the team coming into the B side, just shutting them down. Team123 making it 3-3, and we're looking at a 7th round here, and it's tight to be a beginning of the game, definitely. I'm not really sure if this sets a tone for the game at all, since I know iGame are really strong on their CT side of this map. Last time I saw them, not the best, but I mean, we've been through vetoes now, so I feel like it's one of the stronger maps at least. Dust 2 as well, a very good map for iGame from what I've heard, not only by themselves but also from what I've seen back in the days, even from a lot of the players. So it's gonna be Rizik's open. First goes in for the second, made that a third. Misses out on a few shots, eventually makes it, goes for the 4th, and oh my god, Rizik's with a pistol takes him down 1 by 1. Obviously not too heavily invested into that round, iGame, but still Rizik's, he plays that cool, stays at the same position, is allowed to stay there for such a long time and survives, gets those 4 frags. Quite impressive from my point of vision, but yeah. So 4-3. What do we make of this? So iGame they don't utilize too many early nades here, which is again one of the reasons to why I think they don't push as quickly as they should maybe against this team. But not only that, because they know they'll need those nades at the very end of the game as well, maybe at the very end of the rounds that are coming. So I get this. Flashbang's coming over. Saw waiting patiently to see if anyone's coming middle. Acer, oh my god, he walks through that smoke. Oh my god, that's so beautiful. Story goes down. Alright, 4-on-5 situation. Saw with the AK-47. That was just so beautiful. Story had no idea Acer was going to get out there when there was a Molotov burning on the ground. Perfectly matched. Not allowing anyone to even perceive that anyone was behind that Molotov, to be honest. They had no idea. Santa now knows someone was inside a connector, at least CT, which means, oh, there's been like a fallout. There could be more people CT. He's running around with a knife though, so quite weird to see that. Sagerton comes out. Does with the AK-47. Music's gotta be going down. Good reply, but 2-on-3 situation. Need to go for another one. That's gonna be Sagerton's work to do so. Goes in for it. Eventually gets that frag. 11 HP remaining. 2-on-2, and Sagerton and Raw. What can they really do here? Sagerton with the AK-47 jumps up on the bomb train. Needs to get that support quickly from Cycron. Or what am I saying? What am I saying? Cycron obviously on the CT side, and Acer playing together again. And he'll need that support obviously from his mate, but right now we're talking about Saw, and he has to play that perfectly. Molotov's coming through, not allowing that Molotov to burn. It's gonna be key winning this round, but the spray patterns are just out there. Saw knows how to handle that and goes for the perfect transfer, not only over to the first man, but also over to the second man to deny that defuse and win the round. 4-4. It sucks we don't have replay for that, because it was quite interesting to see how, as soon as that Molotov ran through, he threw another Molotov, as soon as that smoke came through, he threw another smoke just to make sure that, okay, they wouldn't expect me to get out here if there's a smoke, or at least confuse them a little bit with that. It's going to be a first frag coming in from Mertz, quick reply coming in from Juha right there, but still Mertz is alive, and that's going to be Acer going down. We have to see the quick play come in from Juha, and eventually gets a frag. Mertz goes down. 2-on-4. On the other side of the map, you already saw another frag happen. I'm not really sure. I think that was X7 with one over towards B. That's a plan for Saw. Another free round for iGame to take home, I feel like. Cycron and Santa not doing much to make them aware of their presence. So obviously a save coming in here. And look, you know what I mean? You look at their economy, you feel like, yo, yeah, they're out there, they're doing what they need, and they're on the CT side, so they get that extra money anyways, right? Rizik's gonna have a good load of bang to work with as well, which potentially allows a drop. So I'm not saying it's out of the world for them to go for this first now, and since they're going to be double ecoing anyways, I feel like you can drop a few pistols here and there, go with the armor that you can. Try and shock them out a bit. And that's what they do. Quite predictive anyways. Smokes and flashbangs coming through as well. AG's ringing through. Cycron here. Not really allowed to get a lot of information. I feel like the CT side, what they're falling into mistaken here is obviously utilizing those nades early. Mertz is on fire right now with that off, disallowing two people to come in, and they've already got through CT. Cycron here with the Molotov coming through. Left alone with the UMP. Flashbangs coming through as well. 7 from main, obviously trying to make them aware of his presence as well. Juho opening up with one. Sagerton with another one. Santa goes down. That a second of the round for himself, and it lasts for the entirety of that round. iGame wins the round. I felt like the only reason they really won that was, if you take a look at the map, if you have control over CT as well, you can utilize so many utilities from just this very outside of A. Try and flash as many people out as you can. We're seeing now they're coming through with the AK-47s. They're meeting pistols like crazy. So already lost 2 people. This is quite a good eco for Team 123 anyways, but obviously want more. Obviously want to win if they can. Decided to back off. Rezex patiently waiting for anyone to push. Sagerton. It's gonna be Sorry with the first one. Azer goes down. 2-on-3. Sagarton's still waiting. And I feel like he got faked there for a really long time. And as that player moved back, like the CT player that he already was spotting, he moved all the way back to CT. I think that was Resex. Now he spots him and, you know, almost believes that, okay, wherever I'm looking now should be safe. But not so. He actually has a lot of respect for that very area. Sandin decides to back off. And does so very cleanly. It'd be good for him to get a frag here, though. To make sure that they die. One by one. iGame are coming back into this, obviously. What we saw earlier was just warm up. This is it. You know, finish people rising again. No, but this is what I talked about. I mean, like, train, one of the maps that I feel like iGame should be strong on. You don't really want to face them the way you do. You definitely don't want to utilize early smokes or early flashbangs at the very early game as well. Like, if you want to utilize that as a tactic at all, make sure you do that at the very end of the house that you're playing CT on, to make it come as a shock for iGame. Because if you start utilizing that early, you're gonna be read like an open book by iGame. That's what happens pretty much. And they do spread out quite a heavy bit here. CT side, obviously Acer. With only one mate over towards A, eventually gets their other mate there. That's gonna be Sandin. And a few flashbangs thrown out to indicate presence here and there on the map. Or not, we're not even talking map control now, because they don't have map control. What they're doing is they're trying to make sure that CTs get provoked by these utilities to peek out and potentially die to them just holding it. And that's, again, what Saw's been waiting in middle for, is that for ages. Because they had, I think that was Sandin pushed earlier. Rezex did that as well with a P250. Came out, got a frag. So iGame are pretty much just basing themselves around what's happened before. Which, again, it could be a huge danger for them, but you can't really blame them for it. Since it's been going on for a long time, that's going to be a first frag from Juho. Smokes that Molotov off. No, that was a flashbang, actually. Jumps over towards CT, is allowed to do that, and survives for such a long time. He's already there. They cannot expect him. They cannot expect him to come from there. He's 7 HP, though. And he has to play this very safely. Now, they know. They know. That Molotov, or that AG at least, was just too perfect.
Counter-terrorists win.
And it feels like in these rounds that, like, when it takes a lot longer than you'd expect it to, it feels like I'm watching Navi. It's like they hijack their computers or something. Could that be so? No, obviously not. But you get my point. It's taken a lot of time. And I think Team123, sure, they're doing a good job. And I said that, you know, that it's a mistake utilizing that quiet a strategy against, particularly the iGame. But some rounds it just seems to work better than others. It's gonna be Sagarton clearing out an area with the Molotov on the other side of the map. Acer on his story, Saw with a headshot straight to Sandin. So back and forth frags, 3-on-3 situation. Good one for the T's to work with, and if they could get even another reply here, that would be perfect. 29 HP remaining as he jumps over. Acer decided to go all the way back to T-spawn. Or he stays there for the longest amount of time. That's making it easier, obviously, for the CT side as Acer goes in for another frag. What you have here is a scenario in which I think, at least, and I'm pretty sure many people would agree on this, is a iGame are too afraid to push out when they don't know much about where people are stacking up or where people are going to be standing. It feels like they want to make sure they have that very controlling behavior, which is perfectly natural playing a game like this. But against Team123, you got to come out with the element of surprise. You got to rely on the fact that you can hit bullets, that you can go out there and just shoot people out, and you can. I mean, the fact that they have 7 rounds is thanks just to that very matter. But it feels like they're too afraid of that right now, and they just want to make sure they know what they're doing when they get out. And that's also why they're taking so long. For example, coming out towards CT has been one of the key reasons to why they've even won rounds. And sometimes even when they do that, they're not even allowed to get the information that they need to push out the way they want to, forcing them out instead into the field, not knowing very well what they want to do and when they want to do it, which spreads out a lot of the, you know, obviously composure of the team. But not only that, gives a lack of confidence, I believe, mentally to each individual player. We'll see about this. Well, that's going to be the case again, it looks like, at least. iGame, sure. I mean, if you get that information, if you're good enough to let Team123 give away that information, then you've got it. So it works, definitely. But you've got to make sure the enemy team falls into that very trap, especially on a map like Train. Like, you're so closed off until you get out into the choke points. You're not allowed to see anything until you get out there, until you can start firing at people, right? Not where nades come in from, or not where smokes come in from, not the way they come from, like, at all. CTs are just there, they're just holding it, and they smoke off the choke points, and then you can't know anything. You're not allowed to know anything. So, I get the iGame, they really want to be super cautious on a map like this, but just get out there. They know they're really good on this map anyways, right? So, that's going to be a plant coming in. Second time shot, no fear. Doesn't even get the bomb plant down. Saw in the gang. Frags after frags here. Allowed to go in for another one. Needs to make this a 4K to win the round. Goes in for another one. That's a third! And I'm feeling like DJ Khaled screaming another one here. Make that a 4th of the round, and he clutches it. Could that be so soft? He's going to make it. Acer down to 71 HP. Flashbang's coming through. That bomb timer is ticking, or the time of the round is ticking at least. Bomb faking. Oh, and it's gonna be too late unless he gets this frag. Acer dances around the site like a god and wins the round. Acer with the frag. Saul goes down eventually, 7-6. And I feel like something finally happened in this game. Finally, something that really brought some tension into it happened. 7-7. And well-deserved round there from Team123, having the last player, Acer, just dancing around that side. I still feel like, though, as if Saw should have taken that one home, really. And I've seen that, by the way, which is an interesting way of playing, like, just individually, is that you can drop your pistol and plant instantly as you drop it into the air, and it'll land on the ground as you plant, and people will think you're faking. Just putting it out there. If you want to utilize that in pugs, do so. It's a good one. Mertz being all widened out, going in for the second. Saw goes down. Juhob as well by Resex. 5-on-2 situation. Not much to say about this. Resex with another one. Make that a 3rd of the round for yourself. iGame with fully invested. Obviously, it's the last round, so they need to, but still, not a round in which you just want to fall down 5-0 men, right? 8-7. Team123 in the lead here. Let's see how iGame does this on the CT side. Let's take a look at the chat. Yeah, that was quite that Acer round. Oh, it's Acer. Acer. Was it Acer or Acer? Acer. Not sure. You tweet me up at Vault of the King. I'm not sure if there's. I think it says Hugo's Twitter. Yeah, it's not Hugo. It's not Hugo. It says it's Hugo TV, but it's not. This is my Twitter. I'll put it in the chat. I think it redirects to my Twitter at least. Yeah, it does. And we're going into the second half. Yeah, that's the one. Acre. Okay, Acre. I get it. So it's like, yeah. Okay, I get it now. I think I get it. You Danes. I don't get you. You know what I'm saying? I don't get you, Danes. Saying Acre, Rezek, Sandin, Man, or whatever the heck that is. You know, Mertz. I get Mertz. You know, Mertz is cool. Like, generally, I get that. But 7 going in for a first one. Rezek's going down. Gonna be a 4-5 situation. Waiting patiently for more people to come out into the field. Rezek has already gone down, and this is where that very CT play has to come in, where all people just surround the players who are already out on the site. But I mean, just judging by the very positions of the T side, at the same time, you've got a backstab potentially coming up if Cycron decides to go down there. Nope. He decides to play a passive rollover towards B, upper or B lower at least. Mertz left alone on the side with that Glock 18 in his hands. Goes in for another one, makes it a 2-on-2 situation. 1 by 1 they go down. StarSeries with a USP. Goes in for the frag. Mertz, he's already done his work. Cycron knows that the player is waiting for that very peak. Time's ticking, and he's going to stick him on the side with him. Both of them die, obviously. It's worth it. 9-7, and Team123 not with a quite convincing, as convincing at least, pistol round that we saw from iGame, but at the same time, very good. A very good way of playing it, making sure that you had that very backup player up on one, even up. He could have been upper, he could have been lower, anyways. So I mean, just flicking back and forth there, and allowed to get the information of the players who are already out on the side. I feel like iGame should have adapted to that style of play as well, but they didn't in the right time. Which, well, is showing not only on the scoreboard, but economically as well. I want to say, like, on the CT side, you know, you don't want to push on a CT side, so I get that, but they're even in retake situations, you see them, they really want to know what they do before they push, and as soon as they don't know what they do, as soon as they don't know where a player is hiding or where he is, it suddenly gets super hard for them to make sure to make sure they even get reply frags, right? So just a few things here that I've seen, at least so far from iGame, that they're lacking in. And this is a map in which I feel like they should be really strong, right? Juha with that eagle. Going for a first, makes it out of first. On Mertz, obviously. Baker going in for the frag. And I said that right now, I did. Juha goes down. 1-2-1 trade. Bombs planted. iGame again. And you see this time after time after time. They're down to freaking pistols. Why would they take such a long time when they can just rush out, spray and pray with these pistols, right? However, it seems to be paying off today. This very time, AK-47 picked up. However, Sandin will be coming in as a backup fragger. Making these corners go down. Time's ticking. They do have that def kit, and or they don't actually. But anyways, they've got it, so it doesn't really matter. Let's make it a 9-8. And economically, I'm not very sure of where I want to put Team123 right now. It's either between that Quasier or and the Eco, but yeah, okay, they go full mode. They go full mode. Rezek's just purchased everything he could. So we'll see how this goes now. Tech 9, Deagles. I mean, we saw Godsend full Deagles work perfectly. 3-man match. No one can ever forget that. So X7 with a first frag. 4-5 situation. Saw with an AG coming through, exposing himself, but not dramatically. Feels like Team123 are falling into the same trap that we saw iGame in earlier, and this is only going to give so much more to iGame if they start realizing, oh, they did what we did, right? So I really hope for Team123, if they want to win this now, that they at least don't fall into the same trap, or that they come out with some action. It's gonna be Acre with an AG coming through as well on a Juhob. Legs on out of 61 HP. Cycron. On the other side of the map, we've got Rezex, who should be spotted just by sound here. At this stage, they'd be aware of him, I believe. Rezex is coming out with the Tech 9. Should be shot in the back here any second. If not so, then Juhob's going to get this frag eventually, I suppose. Rezex, however, seems to be going out on top of that duel. Juhob goes down. The Cyclone and the gang works this out perfectly together. It seems like that very time-passive kind of play works much better in favor of you to get that plant than anything else. It's going to be Mertz delivering a first frag on a Saw. That Deagle has to be reloaded eventually, right? Misses out on his fourth bullet, I think that was. And isn't allowed to win the round, thankfully. Deagles and a P250 on Sand with a flashbang. So indicates that they have some sort of plan, which is good. iGame, however, looks like they're not gonna allow anyone to get a frag here and there. They're playing very passively, making sure that no one's allowed to get out at all, really. Already 2 frags coming in. Saw and Sagerton working this one out beautifully together. It's going to be a Deagle coming out from Pop, not allowing him to survive either. Sure, they've got 2 frags now, which is good for them, but it's not everything they were looking for. Definitely not. And with an investment of this, I mean, with full Deagles, you're not just going to make up for that with 2 frags. Obviously, they get a good amount of money from losing, but I think banking up here is also part of the key. Trying to win around, trying to get that plan, and then go for the saver if anything. But yeah, iGame didn't really allow him to either, so I get that. I definitely do. That's gonna be Saw running of smoke. 2 smokes actually. Not really sure what that is for though. Is that, where did that land? Let me see. We're over here. Alright, so it's for the peek over towards connector there. Well, so I get that. Taking a look at the map right now. So I think what the idea here is for them to not only go B as soon as possible, but try and fake out A with a lot of smokes landing over, which they do, and it allows Juhob, and it doesn't allow anyone to do anything really. It locks them in, and it forces them to play behind the field of what's really going on. Cyclone going in for the first frag on X7 there. Saw with a good reply frag on an Acre. Sandin makes sure he gets one. Could go for the second. Sagerton has already gone down. Saw's already shown himself. 3 on 4. Don't know much. Mertz with an off frag on a Saw. 3 on 2. Back-to-back frags, but at the end of the day, we got this. Team123. Unstoppable. Let's see here. Sorry, by the way, for not talking in between. Sometimes I'm drinking, so you gotta get that fresh water in. Acer or Acre going in for the first one. So going down. That a second of the round for themselves. As Sandin goes in for the kill on Saw. Good reply coming in from Saw, obviously. Making sure that Acre falls down after trying to push at least into alleyway or alley train. Cyclone coming through with the AK-47. Looks like they were aware of the fact that Juhob was there. No one spotted him? Maybe they did. Cyclone anyways. Just gonna get that frag eventually. Juhob going down. This is where, if I was X7 right now, I'd go for that knife frag. Anything if I could. Sneak out and get it. Obviously, didn't take his time here. Started firing instantly. Spotted one player out. Panicked. 11 to 10. Well, even if you had like a pistol, you didn't want to go for the knife frag. You could still get a lot of frags just by utilizing the very. You could have won that round just by utilizing a very pistol. By waiting patiently. Ice cold. I like Ice Cube, you know. Keep it real. GG. 11 to 10. iGame. They're down in dirt. They're down in dirt, definitely. Gonna be X7 going in for the first frag. Resex going down, trying to make that a second. Saw comes out and gets a frag on Acre. It's gonna be the very execute out on the site. Santa with another one. Juhob, he's waiting to get that frag, and that's so patiently played by him. Perfectly played by him, to be honest. That's really what you need in those situations as well, is that, you know, not only focusing on the fact that, okay, there's so many people out on the side, we need to get out there as soon as possible, quick, and get the frags, but the fact that you can wait for a player as soon as he gets that first frag, allow all of your mates that were currently alive to survive through that one very player who was on top, by the way, of everything, could spot out any player anywhere, and told them to just wait out, I'll get him any second, get the frag, and thanks to that, just turn things around. And that's, again, what one frag can do is incredible in this game. I wonder what CS looks like, by the way, with bad graphics. It was a while ago since I played CS with bad graphics. Because you see all these details now, right? You see all the, like, edges of geometry and stuff. I'm not sure what it's called. It's like anti-aliasing? Anti-aliasing? Anti-Aladdin? I don't know what it is. Anti-Aliasing? I'm not sure. It's something. Anti-aliasing, yeah, that's right. Two great opening frags and making it 12 to 11 will be godlike for them, but Team123 are still looking to win this. That AK-47 on Resex, throwing out Molotov, just exposes him, allows StarSeries to take the right peek at the right time. Op still remaining from Mertz, goes in for a first, spots another player out over towards Bomb Train. Time's ticking, 35 seconds remaining. He still has a bomb, so he could go B if he needs to. Flash is coming through perfectly. And 7 falls for it, it looks like. Toss a player out eventually. Mertz has no idea where they're at. And they're just pressuring him with time here. Sorry. They're taking one by one peak, so that could have been risky. Sorry. Eventually though. Gets a frag. But Jesus Christ, that could have been close. And then again, you had that one player, and you might say, you know, he was inside a connector, very close to the corner. He could have just gone out and got the frag, but imagine flipping up a pistol there and getting another headshot. That would, you know, it would give it away. It would lose all momentum for iGame. And Team123 probably would have taken that round home. Reset iGame. And just gone with it, you know? Chill with it. AG's come forward with 2 box. It's going to be a first frag as the first shot is missed by the Opera. Sagaton gets the call and eventually takes home that first frag. Mertz goes down as he tries to execute over towards the A side. X7 with the A1S goes in for a first. Spots people out through the very edge of that smoke, I suppose. Cyclone goes down. It's going to be Juho in the back. Get him Resex and Acre. They're really confident in pushing here. And again, I think this is what they needed, even back on the T side, is that very confidence of pushing. Knowing very well when your enemies have what and where they're going to be coming from, which is obviously easier on the CT side if you want to push, because you obviously always know where your enemies could be coming from. Whereas on the T side, you're not really sure if they're going to push at all. And you need to push eventually. You need to get out there eventually anyways. But iGame, they definitely are making it harder for them. Weezix knows this. I think he saw where that smoke came in through him. Saw's already exposed himself as well over towards the side. Story together with him. Team123 just waiting for a first mistake to happen again, trying to wait for just falling into the same trap that iGame was stuck in for the very entirety of the first half that we saw. For the second half of the first half that we saw, if you can put it that way. Saw close by, waiting for Mercer to take a peek here. I think they're going to be utilizing a flashbang. What's so not? And as soon as he gets out, there's a player close by to take him out. One by one. They're going to be falling into the trap again. iGame are so ready. The offer, though, missed out on the first shot. Is allowed to get first. Perfect no scope, but this is out on Cyclone. Allows him to go in for one. Could go for a second. Sandin on the other side of the map. I wasn't going to escape this side. Goes in for one, goes in for two. Saw knows exactly where he's at, though. Steps behind him, and Sandin still doesn't know. Saw perfect fragging coming in from him at the end of that round. And I think he even took a step there. I'm not sure if Team123, if anyone said to him or like to just focus on who might be behind a train or not. Let's see here. Smoke and flash. Sandin. And again with the tech knives with a wreck knife, Sorry goes in for a first, instantly shot by Mertz. Comes out with that deagle, not showing any respect whatsoever, which is good by now. I feel like it's about time they step that up and get those frags that they really need. Acre and the gang with a few smokes raining through as well to counter what are earlier had been thrown out. Acre and the gang with an eventual plant coming down as well. Ball landing perfectly. Acre behind the smoke. Mertz with the AWP. Gets a frag on Saw. Cyclone spotted as well. And just by that very fact, you now know where one is going to be and where one is not. He knows where both of them are at this stage, and Cyclone is no more Molotov'd either. So, instant defuse coming through or not? Could have been a smoke defuse. He definitely could have made that. 7 forced it back off eventually though. Makes it 14-12. And not really sure if that puts him in a deficit. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Money-wise, I was talking about obviously, but no, it does not. No. Let's see. Let's not talk too much about the investments. Obviously, a very standard setup where you can buy one off and the rest of them just rifling with the standard rifles that you can choose from. A4s entirely looked live for a long time there, but 7 just saw you with the A1S. It's gonna be sorry, but the first one is Mertz tries to jump up and get the frag. Try to spot someone out. Saw. Waiting patiently as well. Standing for the first one. AK-47 coming through. Saw goes down eventually. Make that a second. That was about to say because Juhab is really, really low. Sagerton should spot the player out in favor of him. Obviously getting that frag, jumping out the window. So they are reading this perfectly. And they... Again, one thing that iGame did a lot was coming through towards CT is like was the reason to why they won rounds at all is that, you know, when we got CT we had not only had control but knew that we could push this and that. And they don't want to allow Team123 to get that. So as soon as they feel like, okay, we left just Ali for too long, let's get an offer there and just shut them down. And he does. So 15-12 in iGame. Thinking this through perfectly at the end of this game. I feel like definitely making up for what they did wrong in the first half, and even if they didn't do anything wrong, it feels like this half is just much better than I expected to be after seeing what Team123 definitely could stay up for themselves, you know, stand up for anything really. that they were facing. Smokes are coming in here in iGame. Aren't really being too affected by this. They're repositioning, making sure they can readdress their shots if there's anyone pushing out. It's going to be Story with another first shot with the op. One by one they go down. Good trades coming in. Deagle instantly on to Story, Acer or Acre with the frag. 7 shooting with that A1S. Goes in a connector. And Juhab is still not spotted out. Cyclone is waiting for him. This is going to be like walking out into a death trap. It is. 7 going for the instant save as well. And I'm not sure if this is typical Finnish Counter-Strike, but I always felt like watching Finnish teams play. They're very fond of their economical situation. They know very well of how to do that and how not to do stuff. Where they'll need weapons, where they won't need weapons, and what weapons they need, what utility they need, how to drop, when to drop to what, and stuff like that. So something you can tweet me out about as well if you want to.
Terrorists win.
You know, it'd be even more humiliating for Team123 to lose in this round. But I think we might be looking at an overtime here, which is, I mean, I'm not gonna say it's a good thing, right? Because we all know overtimes can last for forever, pretty much. But we'll see. Not quite sure what to expect yet. People are coming over towards B, however, and due to that, I think they're gonna be winning this round unless there's a quick rotation coming in from 7 in the gang, which eventually happens as these nades rain through. Close players, not only that, but all players disallowing anyone to come close. Saw picks up the A1S and leaves Juho to do something. Try and get a weapon, I think. Jesus. Not much to say, really. I get the saws just waiting here. Fully understandable.
Terrorists win.
Alright. So looking at the money situation, they're back there. The CT side knowing very well how to... And that's something that I told you guys about earlier as well, as that, you know, talking about Finnish Counter-Strike, this is one thing they do good. This is definitely it, you know, talking about money, they know very well how to handle the situation. However, knew they win the rounds. Not for a while. Let's see if they can make this 16 or 14 just to shut down Team123 once and for all. Smoke is coming through. Looks like they're going to be going for the boost to allow Juho to get a frag freely, or at least with an element of surprise a bit. Not much going on actually on the map. A lot of smokes coming in, and as they execute over towards B, it's gonna be Cyclone and Acre going for the 2 first frags, making it 15 to 15 if they just win this round. But it's not over yet. They take a lot of control, and now it's all of a sudden looking even more impossible for iGame to take this one home. Flashbangs are coming through. Going for first, making that almost effective. Saw is down to the lowest amount of HP I've ever seen. 19 HP remaining. Getting through this smoke is he doesn't even get through that smoke. Sandon gets him before he even gets through. So 15 to 15, and it's gonna be a draw apparently. I didn't know about. I think there should be an overtime, but I'm unsure. GG apparently, yeah. Yeah, everyone's like, what? What the hell? What's going on? Starladder for real. It just said draw. Danmark. Ittekimeen innesiven ainun muut torille ei. I don't know what that means, but I tried to say it with a Finnish accent. Did I do it well? Did I do it wrong? Tell me about it. Aiton torille. I don't know what that is. Kompan. Dane Power. iGame sucks on overtime. Always loses them. That's what you've heard. That's what you've heard. Not so sure. So we're going live here any second with the overtime. Apparently there was a bug on the server or in the config of the server. So any second now we should be live with an overtime. And yeah. I should be done. I'm not sure how long it's going to take for them to start though. Loading train and 1. What? Do I get to play now? Is that it? No, I don't. This is so... Yeah, they're going here, so... We'll just wait for iGame to connect. And there's no team tag anymore, but as you can see, Team123 is on the T side, and the opposite will always be iGame. That's what you can put your output as right now. So you can base yourself around if you don't know who's who. iGame will always be on the opposite side of Team123. So, we've apparently... this is making me so tired, by the way. Just putting it out there. This game has been... I mean, sure, it's been tight, but it hasn't been hype, like, as hype as I thought it could be. I mean, 15-15, you look at it and you say, oh, it's a tight game, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a tight game, rounds to rounds, but kills to kills, it's been very boring to watch. Like, it's taken so long. Well, maybe it's just Train. I don't know why. I feel like I don't really like Train. Same with Nuke. It's really boring. It's really boring to cast. Boring to watch. Cobblestone, super funny. Overpass, super funny. Don't like to play Overpass though. I feel like I like to play the boring maps. Like, I like to play Train and Nuke, but I don't like to... Like, casting them is a bit worse, right? And I'm not sure if that is because it's such a slow map. It doesn't have to be, really, but you prefer it to be. And you'd see it played slowly, majorly. Sorry, what time is that? 8:40 p.m. So we're gonna go late tonight if this is gonna be a third map as well. We're gonna have 2 games today, so yeah. We'll just wait for it to go live, I suppose. By the way, I'm gonna, while we're waiting, while we're at it, I might as well just put the chat on the other monitor if there's anything wrong, if anything's crashing, if you're freezing or anything. How do you get the chat out of the pop out, is it? Yeah, pop out. There you have it. There we have it. Alright. Perfect. That's perfect. Twist of vac. What? Say Baldwin really quick. Baldwin. Baldwin. I don't get that. Bro, your voice is so monotone. Yeah, I know. But, you know, obviously, it's hard. It's hard. Shit's hard, you bro. Like, watching this game, it's not like it's the best. You know, 15-15, it's tight. You'd expect, like, just by looking at those numbers that it would be a tight game. Doug, it ain't. It definitely ain't. What are we waiting? Yeah, we're waiting for them to get ready here. So, overtime is what we're looking at. And it's going to be iGame versus Team123. We'll see how this goes. Have you gone through puberty yet? Probably not. Probably not. I'm only 17. So no, probably not. Just turned 17. Sandin and the gang taking their very time. Smokes are going to be coming through again. A very slow round, just like the others that we saw. They get down here, the smoke rains through, buying a lot of time for the CTs. Juhob with a great frag, just like last time, except Merch was on the CT side. Sagerton with another one, shutting them down one by one. And there comes the frags to reply. Sagerton, Saw goes down. 3-on-2 situation. Sandin with only 7 HP remaining. He is crying. He's on the site. He knows very well that he's going to die any second. And if he doesn't, he's going to be very lucky. He's going to be very happy. Frag on a Sandin. Eventually, there you have it. Acre spotting himself out. About to go down. 7. Knows of where he is. And they just push him into that corner, knowing very well that money is important in a MR3 series overtime. Acre has to go for a plant or die. Gets the frag on a Juhob. And does not have the time to go for a plant, which is interesting now. Because it will be messing things up at the end of the day. There you have it. There you have it. Trying to go as monotone as I could for that one guy who said it. By the way, my caster is... The caster that you're listening to right now is not Hugo. Hugo is God, by the way. But it's not Hugo. It is Baltu the King. At Baltu the King on Twitter. At Twitter. THEKYNG. So, Baltu the King. iGame going in for a first. Acre goes down, tries to go for the second, but has to reload, repositions himself, repositions his shot, goes in for another one, Rezex goes down, could get a third of the round. Sandin, though, here's him jumping and sliding around. Eventually gets a frag. Juhob loading down, goes for a second round for himself, but goes down to his back. Storage with a perfect backstab, not only with that off, but with a lot of information given away and a lot of map control taken back to the CT side. Cyclone goes down, not knowing very well where and what he wants to peek. This catcher's so energetic. I love you guys, by the way, for that. So, 2-0 in iGame in the lead of this. So, patiently waiting again for someone to push anywhere. Team123. Falling into the same thing that we saw over and over again. Like iGame, they fell into that trap again over on the T side. I really hope that we don't see the same thing over and over again, because it'd be quite boring to watch again. However, iGame, they did step up, at least. But like at the very beginning of the game, we saw them step up. They had like a very good spear rounds, but then they just lost it. Molotovs and smokes raining through, perfectly timed for the T side. Nothing happens though. And this is where iGame really should read it. This is where they really should read it. It takes way too long for anyone to get out A. Those smokes are already out there, and sure, you counter smoke, but flashbangs will be flying all over you if there's anyone coming in. So why not just commit to B now that you do, and that's a double fake. Oh my god, I fell for it too. iGame, however, have Saw to rely on, and he goes in for one, goes in for two, could go for a third, but eventually falls down to Cycron. Sandin with another one as X7 goes down. Juho's left alone. That one push from Sandin into B is going to be so key. Cycron going for B, eventually triple fake this time. I fell for it 2 times. Can you believe it? Even the caster did. That's quite impressive. Cycron with the plan all the way back on site. Sandin gets a lot of information coming closer to the CTs than you'd expect him to. And Sagarton going in for the frag on him, goes for the other headshot and gets it, eventually makes it 3-0. Looking quite bright for them coming into the second half, obviously, just 1 round away.
Bomb has been defused. Counter-terrorists win.
It's only 2-0. RIP schedule. Doug, it's overtime. It says overtime 1, doesn't it? Oh, yeah, it does, yeah. So, yeah. So, we're not off schedule. Hey, Monotone, why don't you shoutcast? Add energy. Yeah, I know. I should. I'm going to get coffee after this, I think. Because you're right. I'm very low. I'm really low. Go shoutcast? Yeah or nay? Shoutcast, please. You want me to go? I'm going to go wild on this round. I'm going to go through every single thing I see. I'm going to go ADHD mode on this. Just the way I do in school, you know what I'm saying? Going wild, going crazy, just analyzing everything that I can. So let's see here. Coming into this round, we've got 4 AKs on the T side. They've also got the op. At the other side of things, we've got a double op setup. Aker and Mertz playing it together. We've got Aker playing all the way over. Let me see where that is. Towards alleyway. You've got Mertz over towards, to just peek over towards main. And iGame. More and more waiting to see if there's anyone to make this mistake. Flashman's got to be coming through. First frag coming in from Aker. Juhob goes down as he tries to jump out with the first frag. Sagarton on the other side of the map going in for the frag on Sandin. 1 by 1, they switch this out, and from different sides of the site, they get these frags. Now, a 4-on-4 situation, and we're leaving it open with a 2-op setup. Again, Team123 really has to position themselves in favor of utilizing that very setup at this stage, because pushing B now is going to get easier for iGame if they can just get the very first frag. And they've got a few nades to work with. They've also got the smoke to, yeah, they utilize that. Flashbangs are coming through. Vision blockers, utilizing them perfectly to get resets all widened out. Not really sure how far they pushed, but still gets one frag. Goes in for the second. Oh my god. 7 goes down, and Storage with the AWP, waiting for someone to push here. Smoke is going to be coming down. The bombs got planted, but it's a 1-on-4 situation. Saw's left alone. We've seen him clutch before. Does he make it this time? That is the question. Picks up the op. Decides to go all the way over to upper to throw out that very Molotov that we've seen for so many times, so many rounds over and over again, pretty much. And he decides to back off all the way to pop. Eventually, there's going to be a real defuse, and Saw gets that, so... I mean, sure, they got the plan anyways. He's gonna get the money, right? So he plays that perfectly fine. Woo! Shoutcast time. There you had it, Matthias. Was it Matthias Sile? Matthias Silly? Matthias, I don't know. Doug. Yeah. Good job, Monotone. I'm proud of you. Thank you, son, or dad, or whatever the heck. Thank you. And I just need that energy. You just need those rounds where stuff happens, where stuff comes quick. You know what I'm saying? Some of them are so slow, like this one, where this is probably gonna be slow like hell. Again, iGame, however, no, actually, I think this could be quicker than I just said. AG coming through from the train. And this is where I want to see that counter come in from iGame. Flashbang, instant frag, knowing very well where the player is at. They should know just by the angle that AG rains in from. They should see that. No flash came in through the upper window either. So, Sagarton with the AK-47 coming through. X is going to be going down. 5-on-4 situation. X7 trying to trade this off with another one, and that's going to be it. Sandin goes down 1 by 1. They need to fall down here. Sagarton takes a lot of control. Goes over all the way to CT to get a frag. Mertz eventually falls down. 4-on-2 situation. 7 with another one. And there you have it. GG is about to fall in line. Aker is left alone, and he's stuck here with an op. Not much to do when you're meeting 3 AKs and another op. especially not when the bomb's already planted and you've got all the pressure on your shoulders. GG's already being called in the chat, and he tries to style it off with a few AGL stat points added, but it's not going to be the case. Agriton shuts him down like nobody did, 4-1, and that's going to be the win for iGame on the first map. But we still got a second map. Can you believe it? 15-15 overtime, and we're looking at Dust 1, apparently.